No, I did not want to hear the story about the ugly barnacle. That's really depressing. Personally, I've always preferred the hungry caterpillar. Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this video, Some Frontier video. Sorry, I was a wee bit distracted there. Well, today I have for you a treat. We were chatting on Skype, my friends and I, not so long ago, about how Windows XP machines aren't the most valuable things out there at the moment, but that maybe in a few years' time they will be, the same as 90s machines have, well, basically gained in value. At one point they filled a landfill, now people are clamouring to get their hands on them. So I was thinking, I'd really quite fancy a Dell Windows XP tower, something like a Dimension 4600. So I put on FreeCycle for one. And someone said, well, I've got a laptop, if that's any good to you. So, I said yes, and the guy came round and delivered it. And he delivered it to the wrong house. And furthermore, he seemed to know the occupant's name. I don't know how that is even possible, but even better, the guy confused me with his nephew who's working on his computer. Anyway, so here we have it, and yes, it is a Dell indeed. So let's have a wee look at it. On the front we have a left speaker, what looks like a caddy of some sort. The right speaker, whoa! On the right, we have a CD-ROM, DVD, no, hang on, CDRW DVD-ROM combi drive, or is it a DVD/CDRW combi drive? Whichever. It burns CDR, it can read and write to CDs, but only read to DVDs. Only read off of DVDs. On the back, we have a Kensington lock slot, 3 USB ports, Ethernet, a Philly tone, modem, RJ11, VGA out, power supply, wee fan here on the side, headphone and microphone, single PCMCIA card slot, and that's pretty much it really. So it's a legacy free machine. A bit like the Ergo Ensis that I was looking at the other day. So, let's have a look at this machine. What it appears to be is a Dell Inspiron 1000. And I'm starting to now think where I know this machine's bloodline from. Recently, those of you who watch Brandon Bishop's videos will know that he recently got himself a Dell Inspiron. I think it was a 1200 series. And, well, I mean, that was pretty bare bones, you know. It had a minimum amount of memory. It had, I think his ran on 256 megs of RAM. It had minimum amount of hard disk space. And basically nothing really in it that, you know, would excite, would excite you. So I'm wondering if this machine comes from the same bloodline. Unlike a lot of machines of the era, it has a PC card slot. It's also got a nice, reasonably sized screen. I believe this is a 15-inch. And the battery did hold a bit of charge. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll turn off the phone camera light and have a wee look at it. Alright, here we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to power it up. That's reassuring, the fan's going straight away. Right, now while you can see the screen pretty fine, I'm having some problems. So, I'm going to maybe see about trying to maybe increase the brightness somewhat. Oh, is it? Hang on a minute. It's not letting me. That's high quat. So it's an Inspiron 1000 AO5. The date and time seem to be correct. It's a 2.2 gigahertz CPU. At this point, I'm going to suspect it's a Celeron. CD/DVD, 768 megs of RAM at 266 megahertz, and the panel type is a 15-inch XGA. Boot up message. Selecting disabled prevents displaying boot up message logo screen. Why couldn't it just say that? Display system configuration on boot, disabled, silent boot enabled, USB legacy support. So basically, this from this direction, this kind of looks like, you know, some of the typical tat that you would have probably bought in 2005, you know, if you are on a budget. Now I'll explain that. As I was carrying it back down to my flat, I decided to, for some reason, to power up the machine. I don't know why I did it. But as I was in the lift, someone else got in, so I snapped it closed. So here we go, then. It's a Dell machine. I wonder if the FN key works. Well, the FN key certainly works. I just can't seem to get any brightness out of this machine. Just wondering if I'm looking at the right keys. I think it's FN and F9 to increase the brightness. Again, we're just not getting anywhere with it. I wonder if one of the keys is probably broke. Gonna have to see if I can run a diagnostics DVD. So let's have a wee look at what's on here then. DivX, Games, Microsoft Mouse, Microsoft Silverlight, SQL Server 2008, Adobe Reader 10. Now, this could be Office 2000 or Office XP, also known as Office 2002. A lot of people do seem to get confused about which version of Office it is. And again, the screen looks nice and bright from where you're sat, but trust me, from where I'm sat, it is pretty dim. I've managed to brighten the screen up somewhat. That is so much better. And it's now plugged in, and I can actually show you a wee bit more about this machine. So, it's, as I suspected, it's a 2.2 gigahertz Celeron. Blech. It's got 768 megs of RAM, so it sounds to me like someone's went basically and upgraded the memory. And the modem's not installed. Network adapter. Yeah. there's no Wi-Fi on this machine. So if I want to use Wi-Fi, I'll have to either use a USB Wi-Fi dongle or a PCMCIA card. Either one would be perfectly fine. Anyway, I was going to show you Office. Yep, it's Word XP. Word 2002. Nice. It's not too bad. Not too shabby at all. Word 2002, Service Pack 3. It's all SIS, so you can definitely tell that this is very cheap. However, it's a free machine. I didn't pay any pennies for this. So, I think that because I've recently moved and lost a lot of my machines, I think I'm actually going to keep this one. I think I might actually have a space for it in my collection now. I quite like it. Try and take care of it, and who knows, maybe in a few years' time we'll all look back and say, do you remember those Inspirons? They weren't that good. I really don't know what Brandon Bishop's doing with his. Because, I mean, I wouldn't mind. You know, I'd like to hear him say he's keeping it, but then again, that is entirely up to Brandon, you know, and probably he doesn't have the room in his collection for something like this. I mean, I use a Dell Latitude as my daily driver nowadays. So, to have this Inspiron, which is completely the other end of the spectrum, it's kind of nice. I like it, you know. For a cheap laptop, it really doesn't seem that cheap. The only reason I kind of know it was a cheap model is because I know about the bits inside of it and, you know, the nameplate on it and what have you. Otherwise, you know, it could just be any regular Dell machine. Look, feels awful solid. I'm not going to do the slap test that I did on the ThinkPad 600, but suffice it to say, yeah, I could have gone a lot harder with that, but I think if anything was to blight this machine, I think it would be a case of the capacitors. So, there you have it. A Dell Inspiron 1000. Must admit, I've got to love the name. 1000. It is... Crivens, what's the name I'm looking for? It is a prominent number. That's not the word I was looking for, but it's what I'll go with. But, there you have it. It's a Dell Inspiron 1000. And I'll tell you something else as well. The fact that this is a Dell Inspiron, it makes this my first working Dell Inspiron. The first working Dell Inspiron to become part of my collection. And I'll tell you something else as well.
Great! I have mail!
That. That's high quat. I'll tell you something else as well. I've needed an XP machine. One that I can get quick access to. And the reason I've needed that is because I have got a peripheral that I wish to show you. And it would be best shown on an XP computer. So that is my plan. Anyway, that concludes this Video Some Frontier video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please feel free to subscribe. If you haven't, then, well, just walk away from the experience. Never breathe a word of it to anyone. And if you can build yourself up from the beginning, all on your own, then yours is the world. And what's more, you'll be a man, my son. Or, if you are in fact a female, you will be a woman. So, that said, and lines from YouTube, lines from Rudyard Kipling all successfully plagiarised, I would like to bid you all good night, or whatever time of day it is, and hope you will all join me for my next video. Thank you for watching.